Greetings, people of YouTube. How's it going? I was about to make the next TFTD episode, but then I decided to actually just, have a little chat. So this is the channel update thing, which hasn't happened for a long time, I think. So it was about time. Mainly, though, it's not because of time, but it is because of time. I wanted to talk about why, to a certain degree, there's kind of a bit less videos happening right now. And broadly speaking, there's probably three reasons, like two small ones and one bigger one. The small ones are one that is, we're also working on the game we're doing, which is like a tiny portion of time is also compared to most to the general amount of time that I have is going towards that. Another small reason for that is that I also kind of decided that I didn't want to do 14 videos a week because it didn't really seem to work. In terms of the quality goes down as the quantity goes up usually, and this is not necessarily something I was very happy about, and just the sheer quantity of videos didn't seem to make a huge deal in terms of like how much people engage with them and how much people watch them, etc., and how many new people we have on the channel. So that's another small reason. The biggest reason is actually Arma 3 scripting, which is something that I've been doing quite a lot for the last 2 to 3 weeks. And I've been doing this for Pristine Kiwis, our community, which was initially formed as a DayZ community, and we also played some other games. But right now we're focusing quite a lot on Arma 3, while DayZ is still kind of in its infancy and is not moddable or in any way scriptable, while Arma 3 is. And probably even bigger reason for this update is to put out the message that we are expanding and looking for new members for Pristine Kiwis, new Kiwis. So in case, I'm going to show you stuff that we do and the scripting we're doing, but just before, because most people just quit the video after the first minute. So before those who are quit, we need you in the army. We're looking for new members. If you are, for example, into Arma 3 or wanted to get into Arma 3, you don't have to actually have prior experience, or DayZ, which are our two primary games. Please reply here and we'll sort it out. You have to be 18. Other than that, you need to speak English fluently and not be a dick. General rules are those. There's there's more detailed stuff that we can discuss later. Or in case you're not the person who would like to join, but you have someone in mind, like your friends, your relative, your mom wants to join. That's cool. Your grandmother wants to join, something like that. That would be awesome. Actually, you would be helping us out a lot if you were to know people who would be excited to be part of Pristine Kiwis. I assume most of you probably, if you're watching a channel update, you've probably seen some of our videos, the stuff that we've been doing, I'm not going to go over that in a huge detail, but I am going to show you some of the stuff that I've been working on to explain what I've been doing in terms of scripting. So, for example, let's start with something simple. Let's start with a dramatic trigger showcase thing, which is all this stuff is very basic. This is stuff I've learned in a few weeks, and the learning curve is pretty steep. But because I was starting from zero, and I'm not like someone coming from a programming background or something like that, so I don't really like. I just start from zero. I'm pretty happy with the progress. Probably someone who is very good at scripting would, consider all of this laughable, and they should, maybe, because it is, but it's just a very, for first initial steps. But even with this knowledge, the current knowledge that we have managed to do some interesting missions. So, for example, the stuff I've been trying to learn is how the triggers work. And this is a very, very simple demonstration of that. So we're going to do a dramatic run through the airfield, and how triggers work, how to sync events, etc., which is, some very basic stuff in Arma. Let me just, make sure my track car is working. All right, so in this scenario, well, let's call it scenario. It's not really just a showcase. You just kind of run through the airfield, and it becomes more and more dramatic as you do that because the lightning strikes. Ooh, hello! Lightning strikes the cars, which are on the sides of you. So you can achieve somewhat stupid but cinematic things explode around me as I run, sort of thing. And again, this is just to show like how this works. It's not in any way representative of, we don't have a mission where you have to run through the airfield and cars explode. Maybe we should, but we don't. Probably the frame rate's gonna die while I'm doing this. But look, it's pretty. Smoke and stuff, and then now it's there's a lot of light on the airfield. But that's not done yet. There we go. Now we're done. So, this is just, again, a small illustration of the things I've been learning to do. Another thing that, for example, took a lot of time recently was implementing a spectator script, which, again, this isn't my script. I don't actually need to get out of here. But it's, I mean, most things in Arma, at least for me, don't seem to work straight out of the box. So it took like, good 2-3 hours to figure out how exactly to implement this into a mission and not break everything and so it work. We actually haven't tested in the multiplayer environment yet, but as you can see here now, this is the Ghost Hostage one, the most accomplished mission we've done so far, where, there's terrorists and a hostage. You can see them here. Actually, you start in this mode. I don't have to, if you press escape, you just get out. Then there's police on the other side, and this guys here are fortified in the Ghost Hotel. This is their territory. I can show you from above. Oh, there we go. And they can't get out beyond this area. And then all the way over there, we should have. I think we can go faster. There we go. We have the SWAT team. This is their base here. You can see them right here. Oh, let's not overshoot them. And I'm using that script right now. I'm using the spectate thing, so which makes things a lot easier and a lot more fun for everyone who is participating before. Because according to this mission, after a SWAT team member dies, he just respawns and he can continue fighting. And the terrorists don't. They have 1 life. So when they die, am I playing as? Oh yeah, let's pretend that I'm playing as a terrorist. It doesn't matter that I'm a hostage now, because he's gonna. I believe he's gonna experience the same fate. So let's just make him kill himself through the means of a explosive charge, which he's supposed to over here. So before I implemented that, what would happen is you would die, respawn, and kind of not be able to watch the rest of the match because you couldn't go back. There was not, because the terrorists only had 1 life. And you were kind of confined to partying with the goats. There's goats there. That's why it's called partying with the goats. So now you no longer have to party with the goats. You die. Hopefully everything's going to work out. It's not going to say mission over. Oh, of course, it's not going to work here because this is... Never mind. Let's demonstrate it properly. It's in the editor. You have to do it. You have to run the mission as a actual mission. So my apologies for that. But now, if in this scenario and in any other scenarios, if one of the Kiwis dies, they can just watch the rest of the match, which is really cool and a lot better than not being able to do that. Sometimes we'd only be able to do something like that if I was streaming at the same time, which again isn't ideal because you don't necessarily want to stream everything you do. Right. So this is, as soon as this initiates, we have to do the tricks again, and hopefully the script is going to work and everyone's going to be happy and fine. Again, you start like that, but it's not something you necessarily have to stay in. And when you respawn, actually that's fine because we can just grenade ourselves. We don't have to use the satchel. Stay away from everyone else, so we are responsible grenaders. More grenades. More grenades. Okay, there we go. So there's a 10-second countdown before... Ooh, another grenade. Before you respawn, and when you respawn, you should go immediately into... ooh. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, because you're locked into your character. Anyway, there you go. That's the free camera. Let's actually get back. There we go. So, now you can watch the match. It's a simple thing that probably, like, the communities that have been around for a long time, they all have this implemented, etc., etc. But, we didn't because we are fairly new to this. So hence, but we do it now. We have it now. And you can go very high up in the sky. And if you get tired of doing this thing, then you can just press escape. And then you are respawned here. So this is where you would have gone initially. And you would have to party with the goats here, because you can go back to the match. But that's all fixed now. So that's one of the things that takes time and implementation, etc. And this scenario also would be so much more fun with more than like 5 to 6 people, which is the maximum amount we've been able to get together so far. And that's hence our desire to grow bigger. So I probably need to stop burning. Grow bigger and have more concurrent players in the game. So that's the ghost hostage with the expectation implemented. And for example, then I want to show you also the last mission I've been working on, which actually has really no name, but it's about a manhunt in the darkness. It's inspired by a very similar mission by ShackTag. Okay, let's go. This is in the very early stages of being made. I just kind of figured out how to have a storm going on at the same time as the mission, so that, because obviously it has to be dark, but it's really cool if there's a lightning storm. Which one is it though? Is it the storm test? Let's hope it is. I think it is the storm test. Okay, cool. So it's very simple. I think when we start this mission, I actually have to get down because there's explosions happening. And as we get in, I'll explain. Okay, where is this? Alright, get down. Right, so that happened. So you can see this is almost completely dark, and the only time you can see anything is when the lightning strikes somewhere. And I think I have, well, the favorite purpose of this mission. That still needs tweaking, obviously. It's not, I'm not sure it's the ideal amount of lightning happening. There's a little box here I wanna, okay, there we go. So I'm gonna demonstrate what is this gonna look like from the standpoint of the huntee, the hunters and the huntee. So right now I spawn in as the huntee, and but the hunters would have flashlights. So let's get away from that cam light. As you can see, you can't really see anything. As you can see, you can't see. But when the lightning happens, then you can kind of see. And probably there should be a bit more. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll tweak. I'll play around this. It needs to be play tested anyway, etc., etc. But this is all. You can't use night vision as the huntee. So you will have a mission to, for example, either evade your pursuers for 30 to 40 minutes, or try to get to a certain point. And they know your rough location, so they'll be searching you. But unlike you, they will have flashlights, and they will also have vehicles, which have even more powerful light sources, their headlights. And there'll be there should be at least 4 times as many of them as there are of you. You'll have a limited amount of clips. Again, I'm quite literally repeating what I saw in ShackTag mission, which was really cool. But obviously none of their missions are publicly available, so I just decided to do something very similar for Pristine Kiwis. Hopefully Dyslexia isn't very unhappy about this. So, and this would be, this would be the difference between, and also I want to give, unlike the ShackTag mission, I want to give them flares as well, which will be, I mean, when you throw them up in the air, they're not very effective, but if you use them, if you use the flares, if you use the flares on the ground, they burn for about maybe 20 seconds, but they're quite bright, and you can just directly target them at the ground and illuminate different areas, which is really cool. So that's also will be another thing that the hunters are going to have. So this is the mission that I am currently working on, our next mission probably. But we're also improving the ones we already made, like with the Ghost Hostage. Now it has spectator mode, and this one, because it's not going to have it's going to have respawn, but it's not going to be. You won't be able to come back into the fighting. So people who die will also be able to spectate the rest of the match. And obviously, I'm sure you understood from the idea that because it seems like it's very, there's a huge disadvantage for the huntee, but obviously the hunters are very visible while he's not, because they always have the flashlights on and they have headlights on their cars. So while they have more firepower, they are also much more visible and potentially easier to evade, etc., etc. So this is the next stop. Anyhow, that's this kind of stuff that that's been going on, and this is part of the biggest reason why there's been less videos. But in a way, I feel that less is kind of more, because if I don't put effort into and work into this, then we're not going to have good missions as Kiwis, and then no one want to join us. But hopefully people do want to join us. And as I said before, if you know anyone who would be interested, yourself included, who speaks English, is at least 18 and is not a dick, then by all means, please contact me through any means. Well, except maybe don't message me through YouTube messaging system. Just comment in the video. We'll figure it out. And that would be awesome, because we do want to do more interesting, more complex stuff with much more people. thank you very much for your attention. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.